please rise for the I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whisper, please follow. Here. Here. All right, we've got number 2, public comment. All questions and comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on the topic on the agenda only. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. If you would, please come to the mic. Kevin, bring the mic over. I see no public comment.
Public comment.
Right.
Action here. Good evening, everyone, and happy New Year to the board and those that are present in the room. My questions from today come from your agenda items, if you would like to look. Question number 1 will come from your agenda 6A, I believe it is. 6A, it asks talks about the crime-free housing. In the Crime-Free Housing Act, the ordinance have a fee associated with the passing of the ordinance. What is that fee and how is it being implemented as a part of this particular ordinance? It's nothing mentioned. And how will the information get to the landlords? Number 2, B, which is also under 6. I have noticed that in the public questions before that some things have been misleading, and here you address the electors are presenting to them the supply of electricity. I also would like to know how do you plan to not have a community misled about this particular ordinance that you're having about the agreement for electricity. The real property, number 3, comes from also 6C. The real property that is located at 2842 225th Place. My question is who donated and what kind of property is it, and what kind of restrictions of use is the donor giving? Number 4, I would like to know, and that's come from 6F. Can you explain to me what will make this clear up what is cannabis and dispensing and related facilities, and what does that come? And how is it related, how is cannabis related to what facility? You didn't mention it, because that's very broad, and I would like to understand why is our board just passing ordinances that are so broad that it is difficult for our citizens to follow. Number 5, which will come from 7B. I am interested in finding out how many bids did you have, since we have publicly before, and what day was they received, and what was the ending date of the possibilities for those bids. Number 6, 7C, and 7C, you are authorizing the attorney to settle the 205 and 206 tax rate objections, and you're settling it at .007. Is that .007 cents, or $0.007, or .007? You left that unclear, and if so, what amount of money is that? D, number 7, and that comes from 7D. Do you have a motion for Miller Cooper for the auditors? And I would like to know, have they done business with Sauk Village before?
All right, the time's up. What we'll do is, Mr. Myers, would you like to discuss about the ordinance for the crime-free housing? Trustee Myers, is there anything you'd like to say about that?
If I understand your question, Ms. Anderson, it pertains to the landlord, or how they're going to be brought into this. Is that how I understand it?
That and also in the act it talks about some fees associated with non-compliance.
Okay. First of all, let's cover the overall aspect of the whole ordinance itself. The ordinance was originated maybe 5 years ago for a home rule municipality. Our senator, our state representative, DeLuca, took the bill, changed it, rewrote it, and presented it for non-home rule communities. Now, for non-home rule community, basically what it's going to do is ask all homeowners that rent their property out to anybody to come in and take a standard state authorized training course. And if you remember correctly, I think Trustee Benson a while back brought a deputy chief in from Park Forest, and he briefly reviewed it. We're going to follow the same procedure, but their municipality is a home rule or non-home rule. This ordinance is now true. There's sections in it that if the person, it's all voluntary, if the homeowner wants to come in, and this will give our police department at any time if there's 3 or more felony conviction in any one person in that household, then our person in charge of it, which the deputy chief will name. Last person I heard was supposed to be Miss Salisbury. I don't know if that's going to be the same person. But in return, they will contact the homeowner of that property and inform them that there is a person in your resident that has X amount of felony charges on them. We're requesting you to evaluate this and remove it from the premises, especially on the drug charges and stuff. Once several of the communities, I know when Sauk started it and Sauk started it, we was found that our drug trafficking and the municipalities had dropped way below that. Now we've taken away where the dealers can do their business and they have to find out ways to do it. That's the main purpose behind the overall bill. But mostly it's going to be a voluntary program. The fines, the fine is levied out. It's in the state statute and in the law itself, and everything has to go by the state statute. That's the only way that this thing will work, and we cannot vary from that. And this ordinance here was redrafted. Excuse me. This ordinance here was redrafted and put together per the state statute. It's been working back and forth for the last 2 or 3 years that we've been pushing that back and finally got a decent draft. I even showed it to our state rep to look up where he moved out of our district, and he said it looked good. I matched it up to some of the other ones like South Heights and Sager. We're not as tough as South Heights, but it's all meets all the necessary stuff we have in it. I will be glad to share the ordinance and any other information with you after the meeting, because there's a lot more stuff I can go into it. If you're really interested, I can go into it and tell you all about it. It's a good ordinance. It's something that's going to help the village itself. It's not really designed to make any kind of money. It's designed to rid the municipality of our, let's say, bad people at the time. Mostly it was mainly it was geared for the drug trafficking that we had in the south suburbs. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Trustee Myers. I'll move on to item 6B. You asked about the misleading, about the information. This is a motion to approve an ordinance so that we can go out to the village residents and ask them if they'd like to go through with the supply of electricity. And working through the village, there'll be some, what do you call it? No, we're looking at bringing in some presentations at village board meetings. So there'll be presentations prior to this happening. Let's go to, you talked about item 6C. I wrote down a couple of questions. You asked who donated it. It was Wells Fargo. What is it? It's a house in a residential area, and there is no restrictions. Move down to item F, 6F. You called it an ordinance, however, it's a resolution. And we'll take a look at this resolution. Just so that you realize what this is about, we received this information from the Mayor's Caucus. And informing the municipalities of a bill that is in Springfield right now and going through the House and Senate. It looks like it may get passed and signed by the governor. And what this resolution does is, I'll show you a portion of it. It says to direct the zoning board of appeals and commissions to evaluate the classification of distribution centers, facilities, and to establish locations, regulations of these facilities, and to recommend any other related regulations as may be necessary, important, or beneficial to the village and its residents. So what we're doing is we're sending this to the zoning board of appeals, and it's no different than probably 10, 15 years ago when they said that municipality, same thing with this one, if the governor signs it, municipalities do not have the right to say or stop these from coming into your town. So the zoning board, we're looking for them to set the zoning, again, locations that these type of distribution facilities can go. And if you go down to section 2 of the resolution, it's not an ordinance, just so everyone realizes that it also talks about, should the proposed law or any similar law be approved by the Illinois General Assembly and signed into law by the governor, the zoning board of appeals, planning commission is hereby directed to recommend zoning regulations with respect to the distribution facilities and hold public hearings on the same as soon as practical after the proposed law is signed by the governor. So we're being a little bit proactive, and this came from the mayor's caucus. They provided both resolutions for non-home rule communities and home rule communities. Barrington, I think that's the one I don't have in front of me, has already passed as a non-home rule community. Is it Lake Forest? Barrington. There's another home rule community that has already passed these resolutions already. So municipalities are getting these resolutions and turning this over to their zoning board of appeals and planning commissions so we can start preparing for this, because it looks like it may get signed by the governor. And what these are, I don't think I covered that. Let's see, under the proposed law, only one distribution facility may be permitted in the state to operate in each Senate district. Proposed law is approved by the General Assembly. Again, under the proposed law, certain nonprofit and medical cannabis organizations acting as distribution facilities will be authorized to grow, harvest, and distribute cannabis. So that's why it's important that we act on this and prepare, just in case they get signed. You asked about the opening of bids, board service. I believe, I see 2 packages in front of me. They were due in before, what, 5 o'clock tonight? Yesterday?
And answer those 2 packages were brought in yesterday.
Okay. So we've only received 2. They have not been opened. They're unopened. So I can't tell you any additional information until we open them during the meeting tonight. And that information will be read out loud. And for the motion authorized the village attorney to settle, this is 2005, 2006. She asked about the .007.
Percentage of the tax rate, the dollar amount, I couldn't tell you. I have to find out what that is.
Right.
So you're saying you need to correct it, it says the rate, you mean tax rate? Because the general public would know what percentage
Percentage
means.
of the tax rate?
So you're saying you mean tax rate?
All right, and then the last one you asked about, I believe, was the motion to approve Miller Cooper and Company Incorporation Ltd. as auditors for the 2010-2011. I had that circled also. They came before the village board at the last committee meeting, which was back in December. Again, as everyone knows, we're trying to move forward on getting these audits done. 2009-2010 audit is complete. We've received that, and that was under Gladly and Pullen. So that was completed. Now the village recommendation is to go to a different auditor because it took us over a year to get that audit. And so we moved to a different auditor, and that's what's before us tonight. All right, I think that answers everything that I have down. Move to the next. Any more questions or comments from the audience on agenda item 1? All right, seeing none, we will move to item number 3, Mayor's report. I have a few things I'd like to discuss tonight. First of all, collector's report for October 2012. And what I will do is, just so the village board knows, I have these before me. I will turn these over to the village clerk. She will make copies for all the trustees and make sure that you receive these. If not tonight, in fact, Mr. Mohan, how about if I pass that off to you, make sure that the village board receives copies of all this information, if you would, please. All right, I appreciate it. Again, Mr. Mohan and I worked pretty hard to get this information because I want to make sure that we give this information out orderly and monthly as it should have been done all along. Property taxes for October, this is for October 2012. Property taxes were $73,289.61. Other taxes were $264,782.17. Licenses and permits, $6,070. Fees and services, $168,531.25. Grants, $8,477.56. Transfers, $3,836.47. Interest, $12.11. Miscellaneous, $170,319.74 for a total revenue of $695,318.91. That's for the month of October. For the month of November 2012, property taxes, $21,471.86. Other taxes, $171,543.09. Licenses and permits, $4,499. Fees and services, $181,287.13. Grants, $2,475. Transfers, $34,710.01. Interest, $44.66. Miscellaneous, $333,577.58. Total revenues for November 2012, $749,608.33. Excuse me one more time. $749,608.33. All right. So, and that's the running total for year to date. Okay. So I just want to make sure that get that correct. Again, what we'll do is I'm pass these off to the village clerk so she has them, and then Mr. Mohan will make sure the trustees and the board receive this information. All right. And then perhaps we can also get this information on the website and wherever else it needs to be so the residents can have access to it. And then also make sure, if you will, please, that it's available at the front window in case they want to buy this information also. Appreciate it very much. I have a memo I'd like to make sure that I read to the village residents. During last year's village water crisis, certain village officials improperly collected residential contact information and falsely informed residents that the information was needed to distribute water supply updates. Please be advised that the individuals that collected this information were not authorized by the village, and the individuals did not represent the village. This contact information included home addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses. The confidential contact information was never received by the village administrative staff or administrative department. This was never utilized for the distribution of the water and water supply updates. However, it appears this information is now being improperly used for political purposes in order to issue campaign flyers and candidate information. Please contact the village clerk's office if you are receiving any unsolicited calls or emails, which provide they are being either sent by the village of Sauk Village or village political parties. Please also provide the village with all email addresses and or phone numbers which are associated with these unsolicited calls or emails so that we may investigate who is improperly using resident contact information and determine whether legal action is warranted. If you should have any questions, please feel free to contact either the village clerk or the mayor's office. Thank you very much. We'll move to village clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're preparing for a consolidated primary election on February 26, 2013. The primary election, you will still have the same polling places. However, the early voting places will change. They don't have the locations yet. So you have to watch for them to be posted on the website. I may have them before the Sauk Talk comes out. I'm talking to county on a daily basis. If not, they'll be posted in the hallway. The early voting places will be different, but the regular polling places will be open the same hours, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. on February 26, 2013. The last I looked, there was 22 candidates in the race for the congressional seat. So it's very important for people who are not registered at this time to get registered if you want to vote in that February 26th election. And the voters registration is a little different. We need to be careful of the dates. You cannot register to vote 30 days prior to an election. So therefore, voters registration is going on from now, and I didn't bring my paper out of my office. I apologize. I believe it was January 28th. All this will be posted at the Village Hall and on the website. So voters registration is actually ongoing from now until January 28th, and we'll stop on the 28th and resume on February 27th, the day after the election, and we'll only go through March 12th of 2013 for the April 9th, 2013 election. So it's very important if you're a new resident of Sauk Village, or if you're a resident who's moved from one location to another, we are purging vacant homes and addresses that voters no longer are present. So it's very important if you're a new resident, or if you've moved from one residence to another within the village, you are supposed to update your voters registration. So those are very important dates. The March 26th election is here before you know it, and so is the April 9th, 2013 election. And all this will be posted on the website, and as usual, my office is always open if you have any questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Move to Village Treasurer, Ms. Carmichael.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the third Thursday of this month, the police and fire protection meetings will be held, and that date is January 17th. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Move to Village Attorney, Mr. Brett.
Thank you, Mayor. As the clerk just addressed, we're in the midst of election season. I would just make note that there's been a number of objections that have been filed against a number of the races that are going to be coming up in the April election. There's been objections filed against 2 of the political parties, 2 of the mayoral candidates, 2 of the clerks, and a trustee position. The electoral boards are being put together. It makes a difference on which objection goes to which office or which candidate. It gets a little confusing under the election code, but we're putting it together. The challenges to the electoral, or the challenges to the 2 political parties that have been filed are going to be comprised of public members that are going to be designated or coming forward from the Chief Judge's office from Circuit Court. The other electoral boards will be comprised of different elected officials based upon the Illinois Election Code. The first meeting of the electoral boards will be held this coming Monday, January 14th, 2013, here at the Village Hall at 12 noon. At that time, the ground rules and be very brief and informal for electoral board and electoral board's attorneys to address all the parties that are involved and to schedule the actual hearing on the objections. I anticipate that those hearings will be scheduled within a week or so of the January 14th date. Thank you.
Thank you. Move to Village Engineer, Mr. Sherman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm working with Kevin to finalize the MFTCBB program for 2013. We're pretty close on that, so we'll roll that out soon and get comments back to the village on that. And also, at the last village board meeting, Trustee Burgess had asked a couple questions about road work and railroad work. First of all, I was asked whether we knew when Torrance Avenue was going to be resurfaced, and we looked into that. It's targeted for fiscal year 2013, but that's based on plan readiness and funding availability. So, no guarantees. And then second question was the concrete road area between railroad tracks on Torrance Avenue and Cottage Grove Avenue. And basically, that's something that we need to address with CN. So whether the village wants to do that, or obviously we've got contacts with CN, and we could push those buttons too. So just let us know.
Yes, I would like for you guys to handle that because that is an issue. CN actually takes care of that?
Apparently so.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
There is on the agenda tonight 2 resolutions, both of
approved and sent them on to IDOT for their rubber stamp approval and review the project this year.
And that's a good sized project. It's 223rd Street between Nichols and Murphy. All right, and that's before the village board tonight, two resolutions. All right, move to reports from trustees and board committees. Trustee Constant for Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll be having a meeting here at Village Hall on Thursday, January 24th at 6 p.m. This will be a meeting to see if we can get the baseball sports program moving on. We'll also be sending out a flyer to inform people of what's going on, for what we need to do. And hopefully we'll have good attendance at that meeting so we can get this ball rolling. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's my report.
All right, move to ordinance review committee. Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple items tonight that we need to bring up. First of all, my committee's been working with the village clerk with the application of the code book, get it ready to get it shipped in to get some of the, get it corrected and get our new ordinance, everything back in the book. People, you will not believe some of the things we found that still exist in that code book. There's some ordinances repeating themselves that's still existing in other chapters. There's places we find laws that doesn't even exist, they've been wiped off the slate of the state. All this can be replaced. I will meet with the clerk Thursday morning to hopefully finish up the 690 some odd pages that we've gone through. I want to thank all the department heads for the time they spent going through each section, especially Sherry. She had a lot of it, covered a lot of area there. But we're down to the last part of it, and hopefully we'll finish it up this week, or probably next week. The next thing is that, Mr. Mayor and Board, I will not be at the next meeting. Tuesday I'm going in to have a total knee replacement, so I'll probably be gone for a couple of weeks. But you still can converse with me through the emails and so forth. However, that brings up a point. The Neighborhood Watch Committee meeting I will make arrangements that the station will be open and a firefighter or personnel will be there if Ms. Washington still wants to continue to carry that on. And I would like to speak to her after the meeting if all possible. Okay? The other thing is that tonight we have several ordinances in front of us. The one, like I said, that was Ms. Anderson brought up is the crime-free. There's several of the trustees on this board and members of the audience has helped to get this thing true to where it sits now. It's an ordinance designed to help mainly to help the South Suburban people to get rid of some of the violent crimes that we have due to actually going in with the homes and ridding some of the felonies of the problem we have. Once again, it's a volunteer. There's a program that you must attend. The homeowner must attend. It's I believe Trustee Benson already attended that once, correct? Over at Park Forest, you went to one, and I've been through it, and it's a good program. It's a dynamite thing we should do. Really look and pass it. That'll be out in front of the trustees tonight. And I'd like to see that one get through. If anybody would like to, after the meeting, discuss it, I have a copy of it. I'll be glad to sit and go over the whole thing with you. But once again, this is right by the statute, and it can't get any better than that. And with that, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Trustee, wish you the best in your surgery, and if you need anything, do not hesitate to call. All right. Move to Public Relations Committee. Trustee Williams.
The Public Relations Committee did meet last week, Wednesday. We discussed the Student Government Day and the projects that we are working on for that. We also came up with a theme, but because that letter has not been given to the school district yet, I'm not sure it is yet. But information. We want to get that in and make sure that people know the polling changes, excuse me, the polling changes have changed. And again, we are beginning to start our fundraising efforts for Student Government Day, so please be on the lookout for those. And again, as always this time of year, if anybody is interested in becoming a judge for Student Government Day, please submit a letter to myself or the village clerk. When we have this calendar of events finalized, we will let the judges know when we will be picking up essays, and we would love to add more people to the bunch. And that concludes
All right, and I will move back. I apologize, Trustee Burgess. Go back to Economic Development Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. David Hanks. First of all, I'd like to say to Ed Myers, Godspeed, hope everything comes out okay. As far as the economic development, we're in the process of finalizing our advertisement. We will be doing that this coming Thursday at 7 o'clock here at the Village Hall, where we will be meeting to finalize the advertisement to go out to all the corporations and industrial businesses throughout the United States. Also, I've been working and observing. We've had several businesses, a couple of businesses close up. One business closed up. It was there one day, gone the next day. We don't even know what happened. I just have a sign on there. A lot of residents were concerned about it because they had brought gift certificates. They had brought gift certificates, and those gift certificates were not honored. So I don't know what we can do about it as a village, but there was a concern there that that they closed up and left with the money. Well, obviously they did. But I wanted the police chief to be here, but he's not here. But Al, I'd like to find out. Is there a way we can put, I would say, a detail or a close watch on the new shop that opened up next to Family Dollar, opened up next to the liquor store. I think that's a beeper store or whatever. It's kind of weird that it's 35 degrees outside and you got the doors open. So, unless they got a heck of a heat bill or whatever, but I don't understand why the doors are open. And it's 35 degrees every time you drive. I drive by there, walk by there, or whatever, the doors are open. So I think you need to kind of look at that and find out what's going on there. To at least address it, at least, not asking them to close the doors, but there must be a reason that happened last time, with the last business that was there. I'm sure everyone has been riding around the village and looking at how the businesses are slowly but surely leaving. Either they're closing up, going out of business, and then also the facades that are there in both of our areas that have the businesses there. Now, the one that's down by Tony's Foods, he did improve a little bit of his facade. But I'll just put it this way. I don't know if it wasn't reported yet, but we did have a business, brand new business, that just opened up within the last 3 months to be robbed. And it's hard for us to bring businesses in here if we keep getting those type of publicity that's coming out here. It's hard to people to come and open up. I mean, the business has only been here for 4 months. It's already been held up. So we need, I don't know, I'm not saying the police is not doing their job, but, it's not good. And then we're asking the people here in the village to patronize the businesses that come out and spend the money. But the businesses are closing slowly but surely, but we're trying to stop it, but it's not looking any better if we have problems like that, if people are harassing or robbing people as they're going to business. So I'm sure that it's out there already. I'm sure people have heard about it, but I just want to see if we can address that. I don't know how. We need to put our heads together and find out what we need to do to encourage more businesses to come out here and the ones that are out here to stay. I got a lot of phone calls about the industrial park, people looking for jobs and things like that. As I stated before, the industrial parks, most of them have what they call temporary help. A lot of them hired that way so they can keep the cost down of training the person and they may have to let go. So my suggestion, anyone that's looking for a job in the village, in the industrial parks, is to find out what temporary agency that they're at, apply there, and still go back to those businesses and let them know that you applied, but show that you know that you're, just show that you know that you come back each and every day, every week, or whatever, to show that you know that you really looking for a job. You have to distinguish yourself between the person that trying to get a job and yourself. You have to show them that you want it more than the next person. The jobs that are there for WinPAC, I think now WinPAC has filled all their jobs that they had accounted for. They moved a lot of people from the other site there, but I think they hired, I think the guy told me 19 people outside. I don't know how many were village residents, but they did hire 19 outside people other than people that were working for them. But, there's also a new warehouse. Well, it's not new, but where Bear Paint used to be, there's 2 warehouses, 2 companies in there right now, but they're still under the same umbrella of Jacobson Trucking. So if people are looking for jobs down there, go down to each one, either one of them. One is New Stream, the other one is the Jacobson Trucking company. Go down there, and if you're looking for employment, check those places out. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to item number 5, Fire Department, Police Department, 911, Commissioner Chief Buffett.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Wow, that's not good. Got a new battery. All right, from December the 7th to January the 3rd, the Fire Department answered 41 calls for service. I'd like to start by wishing everyone a safe and happy New Year. Even though we've enjoyed a very mild winter season to this point, I'd like to remind everyone that colder temperatures will be upon us soon. With this in mind, we would like to remind residents to keep them space heaters 3 feet away from any objects and try to avoid using extension cords. And also, please check in on any of your neighbors that might need assistance. Fire department is always looking for men and women to join our department. You must be at least 18 years old, be able to pass a background check and drug screen. If you are interested in serving your community by joining the department, stop by to fill out an application Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4. We ended our year with a structure fire which was turned over to the state for investigation. Unfortunately, we began our year with a serious auto accident on Sauk Trail. I would like to thank all of the Sauk Village departments for their quick response and professionalism in handling these types of situations. I would like especially to thank the police officers first on the scene. They provide the fire department with valued information and insight as to the conditions we will be facing on our ride. With that in mind, over the past year, we've had several personnel who deserve recognition for going above and beyond the call. And we will be recognizing a few of these people at our next board meeting if we have permission.
Definitely.
Thanks to the fire department. Since the last board meeting in December, the police department has taken 1,203 calls for service. This includes 37 burglaries, 73 domestics, structure fires, and 59 arrests. Additionally, there were 82 ambulance assists, 88 burglar alarms, and 134 traffic stops. On Saturday, the 5th officer responded to that fatal accident on Sauk Trail. A press release was issued stating that a 2009 Dodge traveling westbound on Sauk Trail drove off the roadway and struck a tree, light pole, and a parked vehicle. And the driver was identified as Sean Bruce Harris. And that ends my report.
Chief, was the driver of that vehicle, he was a resident of Sauk Village?
I'm sorry,
The driver of the vehicle that passed away, was he a resident of Sauk Village?
I believe so.
Okay, and when your fire crew, you said you had 41 calls for fire service. How many of those calls were for assistant EMS?
41 calls, we had nothing to do with the EMS. It's just not.
It's right.
Just for clarification too, since we get our on the police report, I know that there was under trustee Burgess, you talked about the burglaries and the break-ins and things were having problems. During our last staff meeting, talked to the police department, we looked at, currently Sauk Village has 3 police officers that have left our town, and the police department is now working with Police and Fire Commission to replace those individuals. So just so the village board is aware that we are replacing these officers as they leave. So I think that's important. All right. Move to Public Works Department, Mr. Weller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Couple items here. The town lately has seemed to, with no snow on the ground, all the debris ends up being everywhere, papers and everything. So I ask residents to please help us clean up the town. If you see papers out in the front yard, don't dump them into the street. Help us clean them up. We are out at locations, mainly park locations right now, and we've helped sign in all the main entrance areas. We also, we're going to get some assistance service and community service individuals who have come by looking to serve some hours. So we have a couple areas we'd like to put them in the industrial parks, clean up a bunch of the papers out there. And we'd like to also speak to some of the businesses out there, maybe if they could put some garbage cans and try to maintain some of the garbage that's coming out of the truck drivers that are dumping out there. So we got to speak to Mr. Burgess here, and we'll work on that. Second item, there was some complaints on some streetlight issues. We are still working on streetlight issues. We had one of them was knocked down in an accident several months ago. 905 Laurel Lane, that light has been replaced, and they're just waiting to do the power connection at the bottom. We had a storm back in, I believe it was December storm, windstorm, took some branches out of a tree, ripped the arm off a pole on 217th Place. That arm and the power is restored to that location. We had a light head on 223rd Street, the median strip, 3000 block. The head went bad on that. We've been out for a while. Residents have been complaining about it. That head has been replaced at this time. And we will still work on, we have multiple other lights and poles to replace, but we do as we can with the personnel. We also currently are starting our north side shutoff list. On the list at this time right now, there is about 120 on the list. And we will be shutting off until we complete the list. Residents show up, pay the bills, and you won't see us ever again. Also, over the holiday, we did have a water main break on December 24th on Yates Avenue, 22444 Yates. We did a temporary repair at that location to get the water back on for the holiday, and then we returned on Thursday, the following Thursday, and we did a main upgrade, replacing about 15 feet of water main in that section. And everything is okay at this time. We also had a complaint on Strasburg of a leak, which we've been dealing with for several months now. We had a locating service come out, and the leak is so small at this point right now they cannot pinpoint it. So what we do in these cases, if we cannot pinpoint it, we do an exploratory dig. We dig down almost to the main itself, barricade the area off, and we wait to see where the water's going to come up. Because at this time right now, if we start to dig around the area, we're getting a driveway, curb, around the street, we want to destroy a bunch of stuff that we're not be able to find it anyway. So yes, it will sit for a few days, and then we will go back, and hopefully we have a better idea of where the water is coming from. And it may not even be our problem. It could still be a residential sump pump of some sort in the area, still pumping. Also, we definitely have a large amount of complaints of fire hydrants, which is a major concern for safety, fire department, public works included, water issues. We are planning to start our first replacement of the year for the week of the 14th. I can't give an exact date. It's planned for that week. Wednesday is probably the day we're going to do it, but it's pending any weather or emergency conditions. But the week of the 14th will be the first one, and it is from an accident we happened several months back. It's on 221st and Shirley. And then we'll move on to the next week. Throughout the holiday season, we have, normally through Thanksgiving and Christmas, we have a lot of complaints for sewer complaints. The time of the year, the holidays are the worst time of the year. A lot of residents have garbage disposals in their house, and they think that you can put anything in the sink. And we do come across some issues that are in the villages, which some other issues become problems from children dropping stuff in the manholes, which are sticks and debris. But if any resident ever has a sewer complaint, they should call the village first, and we will come out and check the main to make sure the main is not backed up, and we will usually let them know if it's their problem. And just a side note, we still are dealing with the Line Saver program, which is the sewer Line Saver insurance policy. Any resident that's not on that, they should probably look into it. If you've even had one sewer problem, this could solve a big headache if you ever have to call a plumber out again. It's a very cheap program, and so far, anybody I've talked to, they said it's well worth it. At that time, we only had about 6 sewer complaints, 4 of which were main backups, and most of the debris we found in there was branches from trees. And it appears that the youngsters are dropping them down the manhole pit holes, and that catches the paper and causes the back of the manhole. Let's see here. We also have been assisting the police department and our own department here, obviously doing vehicle repairs. Most of the stuff we've been doing lately are small repairs. The police department's vehicles are not needing the repairs. It looks like they're in pretty good shape, but there are some smaller items that we've been assisting them with. Also, we've also been assisting the fire department and the police department again with some maintenance repairs within their department. We have not in the past worked with the fire department. They've done most of their internal stuff, but they've asked recently for budgetary reasons that we can assist them. We fixed some electrical problems over there, some gas issues, some gas piping. We had a furnace issue on the police department roof again, the one we had discussed earlier a few months back. We're having more problems with that. But we had it repaired this time, but in the spring we'll probably have the budget to replace that. And finally, through the accident on Sauk Trail, we did have another light pole run down, and at this time we have it removed from the property, and we will place an order to have that replaced. And that concludes my report.
Just so the board also knows, during the staff meeting, we talked about additional manpower. Now, Kevin's been coming before the village board, letting us know that they're shorthanded. The village board did pass in the last budget to bring on 2 additional headcount in that department. So Kevin is looking forward to bringing those 2 additional headcounts back, hopefully by the end of January. So we already started working with Mr. Mohan, and again, the village board has already approved it for these additional headcount. And I think it's important also that we get this work done. It needs to be done, especially the fire hydrants and moving forward on any main repairs and things like that. So that's where we're at on that. And then we currently have 9 fire hydrants with a potential of anywhere from 12 to 15 being repaired after we rebuild some of the additional other ones.
Yes, we have 9 on site right now, and we actually talked to the waters rep, which is all the hydrants that were put in on Sauk Trail when we widened it. That was back in 93, 94, 95. We are being told that there was some problems with those hydrants. They're looking into some defective problems that we may be able to receive some parts for free. So we're waiting for a call back on that.
All right. Thank you very much. Move to administrative services.
Acting Mayor, I just have a couple of questions. First of all, yes, we did vote to bring back 2 the personnel back at that time, but at that time we didn't have Schrader. That time we weren't paying that Schrader. We weren't paying $40,000 a month for Schrader. That's why we have the money to do that. Now we're paying them this kind of money. Is there any movement on whether or not what we want to do? Because we're still paying, I think it's $45,000 per month for the rental of these air strippers. At that time that we made the motion, at the time that we passed passed to bring back 2 personnel, this problem didn't exist. Now it does. So I mean, we're talking about bringing the police back, which we going to feel because that they were gone. But at the time we didn't have. We did talk about bringing personnel back from Public Works. Not saying that they don't need it, but I'm sure Mohan's getting ready to give a report that says we're going to have to borrow money just to make this month's payroll. So we need to look at what we're going to do first and address the issue at hand, which I think is what are we going to do as far as Shred? Are we going to continue to keep renting, or are we going to make it a bid to buy these so we can put them on a payment plan so we can cut that expense down? Because right now we're paying an exorbitant amount for rental. If we buy the existing ones, instead, because right now I know we're waiting on funding. It hasn't happened, but we're still paying $45,000. That right there could pay for more than just 2 people to hire. So we need to do something before before we hire, we need to at least take care of the issue as far as Schrader to find out what we're going to do. Are we going to buy those, or are we going to continue to rent them, or what are we going to do?
Trustee, let me answer two things you brought up. First of all, Schrader, I met with Schrader this last week. Was it last week? What was it, Tuesday? Met with them on Friday? Friday of last week, met with Gail Schrader. And Sauk Village has not made a payment to them since August. It was only a partial payment. Tonight you have it on your accounts payable to make a payment for September. And we're working to see if we can make another payment by the end of the month. Schrader wants to work with Sauk Village, however, we need to get caught up on our back rental fees. Again, the first amount of the rental fees were by agreement through the IEPA and Attorney General, and the first 3 months was based at $79.5. We were not involved in that discussion or negotiations as of November 20th, approximately, if I remember my memory, November 2nd? 22nd, thank you very much. As of November 22nd, that payment dropped down to $55,000. We also looked at the equipment that we have there. I can tell you that we go back and show you all the work that's been done, but we looked at stuff we did not need and what we were paying for. That has been pulled out. And we're also looking at, is there anything that we can purchase so we no longer have to rent? And again, looking at that, how much we purchased, what can be put toward the low interest loan through the IEPA. Again, we had a conference call today with the IEPA and Attorney General. Moving forward, showing them exactly what the plan is and getting their input on what they're expecting. So again, things have happened starting last Friday and today. You're right, it's $55,000 a month, which is a lot. However, we have to get caught up on back payments before Schrader is willing to do anything forward. When we talk about additional manpower, again, that was by budget. And what we do is when we look at bringing back additional manpower is what benefit is it to the village and how will it pay for itself. We know that we have houses that are not paying their water bills because the B-boxes or the turnoffs in the front need to be dug up. By bringing these individuals back, it allows us to go after these individuals and these residents who are not making their payments. Mr. Mohan's going to talk a little bit during his report about what we're doing about financially, about how we're going after these residents, and if Sherry might have a portion of hers also. So by bringing these employees back, number one, work's getting done, work that needs to be done, and it allows us to address the residents who are not paying their water bills, which we feel confident that this will happen once their water's turned off. And the fact that we're waiting to the end of January, we're looking at approximately February 15th. February 5th, we expect to see. Okay, so we're looking at taxes starting to come in. So again, we're looking at it, and again, Mr. Mohan calls me every day about the finances of the village. So I've lost quite a bit of hair already, going back and forth, I think. But again, we are looking at what we can do as a village to make sure we fill these positions, and how it will benefit the village, and how it will pay for itself.
I understand, I do understand what you're saying, but I'm sure Mr. Mohan's getting ready to give us a report stating that we have to borrow this month.
But we're not borrowing this month, trustees. We're not borrowing money. We are moving money from another account, but we're not borrowing.
That's what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say is we won't meet budget. We won't meet the payroll unless we take it from another account. We've been doing this for the past 2 or 3 months. But what I'm asking is, okay, yes, we do need personnel. We do need people out there to take care of things. But at some point in time, we have to get hard facts. We have to go and say, okay, let's take care of this cancer that's coming in as far as paying this money out each and every month to Schrader. Let's stop it. Let's negotiate. Let's say, okay, can we stop right now? We know we owe you X amount of money right now. Yes, we do. But can we stop renting and start buying at whatever rate we have to pay for each and every month to lower that bill? Because if I'm tired of each and every time we come and have accounts payable, we have to move money from one place to another. have to move money from one place to another. And sooner or later, we won't have those places to move money to because the money from Schrader now that we're paying Schrader is coming from the water. So we used to be able to take that from them, but we can't take that from them anymore. So as Mohan's going to tell us this evening, we're taking it from another entity, which was earmarked for something else. Sooner or later, we're going to run out. All I'm asking, I'm not saying we don't need to hire because you're talking about hiring something. We're not going to pay somebody $40,000 a month, but we need to take care of that issue right now to at least put us on a payment or whatever. Yes, we do owe X amount of money. Yes, we do have to take care and pay our bills. But each and every month we're going to run out of places to pull money from. We cannot borrow money, as everyone here on this board knows. So we need to do something now. Negotiate with them. That should be one of our priorities to say, okay, let's sit down and let's stop this. Let's stop renting, and let's see what we have to do to buy. And yes, you did make mention that we didn't need a lot of the equipment. They took it away. That did decrease the bill. But we need to do something right now. And I'm not looking to. I know that we're waiting for money in February. That sounds like checks in the mail. But in the meantime, we still have to pay these. And we have to worry about payroll each and every time we have payroll. Are we going to meet payroll? So that's all. I'm not trying to make it confrontational, but it's just that something we have to address right now so we can move forward. So I don't hear the next time we have a board meeting, when it comes time to pay bills, we have to pull it from another entity. And that's what I'm trying to avert.
I think we're on the very same page. We're on the same page, trustee, and that's why we've had the meetings. And that's why we're moving forward, and that's why we're looking to pay 2 payments. Again, nothing has been paid to Schrader since August of 2010, or 11, I'm sorry. Tonight, we're making September's payment. By the end of the month, we're making October's payment. We're looking to find out how we can make November's and December's payment and get caught up. And we are in negotiations right now, currently with Schrader, on what the purchase cost would be to purchase these rather than renting them. And again, what equipment is Schrader renting currently, and what does the village need to purchase or continue renting through Schrader or through the other companies they're renting from? Because you don't have just Schrader's equipment there, you have other equipment that's being rented also. So we are on this, and like I said, we met last Friday, we met again today with the IEPA Attorney General. I mean, it's 2 days in the last 4 days we've been addressing this issue. And believe me, it's not going to stop. We have additional meetings coming up and going over exactly what has to be done. And Kevin's been very busy also reaching out to other companies to find out what we have to do to perhaps either rent or purchase or even upgrade some of our equipment so that we no longer have to rent equipment from Schrader. So again, we're pointing everything together.
Okay, because the reason why I'm saying this, Mr. Mayor, is this. I think it was 2-3 months ago, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. McGrath, that I had an opportunity to talk to Mr. Schrader. And he was at that time expressed the idea of buying and paying for them and on time, and he was going to offer to us for a certain amount of money, and it would basically, I think it was something like 3 months of the rental cost, and we would be able to buy each one of those for that price. At that time, quite naturally, we know that things were not conducive at the time, and everything was put off. But now, I still think that if we keep waiting for the state to come in and do this and do that, we'll be back what happened to us in July. I'm looking at right now, let's try to make a deal with him. Let's stop this bleeding. Let's close this gap right now, today. Yes, if the money comes in from the state, all the better. But at least put something on paper and say, okay, how much do you want for these Schraders? For these air strippers? Where can we stop renting? Because we don't have the money. Yes, we owe him close to $200,000. Yes, we do, but that's from back time. That's what we had to do because we were mandated to do that. Now, things have changed. It's not as bad as it is. They're in place. I know that IEPA did not want to buy used equipment, but the IEPA is not giving us all the money to pay for these bills that we're paying for each and every month for the rental fee. So I'm looking, can we have another, we had a meeting, like I said, this was a while back, but can we at least sit down and say, okay, what will it take for you to stop renting these to us, and let's purchase these on whatever agreement that we can come back to the board and let the board know what it is, and let's do this now, because each and every month we wait, and we wait till February. We still got January's payment and February's payment at that price of $40,000. Can we stop it right whenever the next week and say, okay, what kind of agreement can we? If we agree right now, how much we sell to the board, and what can we pay each and every month? That's all I'm asking. That was just the thing, because I'd rather negotiate now at a rate that we could buy them than to continue. Well, he's a businessman. He's going to continue to keep renting to it because he's making more money that way. And IEPA, I understand, does not want to pay for used equipment, but IEPA is not subsidizing us right now. So that's what I'm looking to see if we can do that.
I think that both of the points that were brought up were pretty valid, but maybe if this could be an item for discussion at the committee meeting. Because we're going back and forth, and we don't really have any real information, actual numerical values right now, because of the discussion. So this is something that can maybe be placed either next week if that's too early, maybe 3 weeks out.
I can assure you we're already in negotiations with Schrader, and we're trying to get a final cost. As I've already explained, we have been working with Schrader for the past 4 days. IEPA Attorney General, negotiations are already in works, and the attorneys have already moved forward on this. So as soon as we have all the information, we will definitely be coming back to this village board during the committee meeting to let the village know what has to be done.
I have just another question for Kevin. Heat.
We're currently working on that. We had this all taken care of. We had somebody come out, evaluate the situation. This is a month ago. Roughly, they tell me it takes 2 weeks to order a part. They ordered the part during the holiday, and everything is, conjunct there. Well, they didn't receive all the parts. And one of the parts they're currently trying to fit with their equipment, or they have to order it again, and it may take another 2 weeks. So they'll be out sometime this week to come out and see if it's compatible with it. So
If
I would
they have
love to
any
help.
questions, or, they would like to talk to somebody, I volunteer, because I'm freezing.
Well, we normally don't deal with this company directly, but they're the installers, and they're the language people with the computer, and that's why. Otherwise, it would be repaired already. It's just a mechanism.
I know that there's something wrong, I just don't know where we were.
All right, move to Administrative Service Director.
Oh my God. Another mayor that doesn't know how to say my last name.
Hey, he's just like Sherry.
It's Jazinski. It's real easy. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I got a few items. Code enforcement I should say one code enforcer wrote 117 tickets from December 1st, 2012 to January 7th of this year. I attached a copy of the violations and the tickets in your packet. We have spent several hours trying to locate the banks that are responsible for these unsecured homes that I gave you the board a list of. We have written 11 tickets to the banks to date, and Sue's going around rechecking some of the unsecured homes that I gave you the list on, and about 8 of them have been secured, but 2 of them the village secured, the ones on Navajo. The banks took care of the other ones. WinPAC is in the process of obtaining a permit for a new print room. The plans are under review from Don Morris. They had to make some changes and resubmit them, so we're waiting to issue that permit. That'll be roughly about $2,400 minus the plan review fee. That's what it's going to be for us. It would be more, but the plan review fee they pay directly to Don Morris. And I was going to touch base on classy nails, but Trustee Burgess already did that. And that in fact happened. A resident called us. She received a gift certificate, and when she went there, the doors were closed. So I sent Sue over there to find out. And indeed, it looks like it's closed up. They haven't finalized their water account yet or anything. They just up and left. And tomorrow, me and Mohan are going to be sitting down, working out some, talking about filing liens. I think it's imperative that this village starts filing liens for tickets that aren't being paid and water bills. It's essential that we do this. In the end, I know it will cost us at the beginning, but in the end, I think that it will pay off, for the village, and then we won't have to worry how we're going to get money to pay for these employees to come back to work. There's some things that can be done. But anyways, that concludes my report. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Great job, Sherry. I guarantee you, as the bank president received the first national bank, I guarantee you will get a reply. So, I would like to volunteer my services to you. Yeah, let's say you give them the time limit, and if they don't call back, I will take a day off work. I mean, well, I'll be off anyway, so I was telling her to make the telephone call to that bank president and ask them what the heck's going on.
It's really incredible because, there's been residents saying, oh, it only takes 10 minutes to find out who owns these houses. I think not. It takes days if you can even get anywhere.
Yes.
I had because that program that we ran, the PIN numbers, they list banks, but they don't give you their addresses, they don't give you phone numbers, they don't give you anything but the plaintiff's, the bank's attorney. We contacted Pierce Associates. They do a lot of the foreclosures for the banks, and they said, we're not giving you that information. Send us a ticket. So that's what we're doing. You take care of the ticket. If the attorney firm wants the tickets, then they can have them. We only got one call with one bank saying that they didn't own the property, and we indicated to them that if they don't own it, then give us the information, and who does.
Yeah.
Those tickets will not be voided. I started them out at $250. So when they come to court, if they do show up for court, or they don't, they will be $500, and I'm going to keep doing that. It's just a process. It takes a long time to find out.
I believe our higher fines on adjudication can go maximum $750, right?
That is correct.
Kirby, if they want to play a game, we play a game with them. But thank you for any type of job.
Well, I just figured we might as well try it,
Yeah.
and see where we go with it. See what happens.
Thank you very much. Number 2, Finance Director, Mr. Arnold.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. The first thing is the bank balance in First Midwest Bank for general fund is in the amount of $169,072.67, and we have in Illinois funds $104,940.96. The next thing is, now we have completed the fourth quarter COP grant report in the amount of nearly about $21,000. It was reported on January 3rd, and the cash or the money fund transferred as of January 5th of 2013. So the total dollar amount is about $21,000. The next is the December 2012 monthly collector's report will be ready on or before January 22nd, 2013. The third one is, as usual, we are way behind collecting Illinois state income taxes. Almost it is in the amount of $300,000. The fourth one is, I'm planning to send about $64,000, that is water money due that's billed for the month of October for the north side. There are about 163 customers. The water bills that were unpaid as of October 2012. That's going to go out to collection tomorrow afternoon. The last but not the least one is we have reduced non-sufficient fund checks from running about 60 a month to almost about 2 or 3 a month now. So it is a drastic improvement. We have stopped accepting checks from the water customers who fail like a non-sufficient fund checks. They issue checks without any funds in the bank account, and that will come out unpaid to our account once again. So that has come down from 60 to almost about 2 or 3 per month. That's a drastic reduction in non-sufficient fund checks. That ends my report.
Mohan, the statement you made before the NSF checks, you said something about issuing, you want to collect?
The water customers issue a check that doesn't have money in the bank account.
No, I'm talking about before that. How many, you said that we have how many delinquent?
All collections, you mean? Collections are about $64,000. That is owed to Village of Sauk Village as of October 2012. And planning to go to collection agency tomorrow afternoon to place with the collection agency all this 163 customers.
Have these customers been shut off?
Not yet. They're going to be. They can. Some of them are bids and checks. We can't shut it off. I think Kevin and company is working on still to get the things.
The reason why I was asking, we're going to send these to collections before we shut them off.
Because we can't shut it off.
I mean, some of them. I mean, but I'm talking about the ones we can't shut
Some
off.
of them, yeah, they are going to shut it off pretty soon.
And I just did a little math. So basically, we have $275,012 in general fund. Okay.
Mr. Mayor. Mohan, a couple of things. How back you told us that county still haven't paid us. County made any effort to pay us any money yet? They how about the state?
Not yet.
How about the state? State has came down with anything, they still owe us money?
The state normally holds about 4 months worth of income taxes. They don't release it. It's a general practice for the state for almost about 15, 20 years.
So
they will hold on to the income taxes, and by holding income taxes, they can earn nearly $1 million or something per month on interest. That's the reason they're holding it.
So how much does the state owe us?
Approximately about $300,000.
$300,000?
Mm-hmm. It's 4 months of income taxes.
And the final figure on the county is what?
County will be almost about $1.2 million. Actually, that will be due not well before March 15th. When they collect it on March 1st, the bills are due on March 1st. It will be collected as and when it is collected, the county will start sending right away. Normally it takes about 5 to 6 days turnover period. If they collect on March 1st, they will turn over once again and send the money via wire transfer within 5 or 6 days from the date of collection.
I don't think I quite heard you right. What was the amount the county owes us? How much does Cook County owe us?
Total tax levy is $2.3 million.
That they owe us.
That they owe us. Out of $2.3 million, normally they are collected 50% by first installment. That means it's almost about 1 million, 1.2 million. They will try to send it back to us.
The comment I sent back to you, did you get a chance to look into it? The cell tower money, that's revenue we bring in that we don't have to pay out to nobody, correct?
Yes, we don't have to pay no.
So it's just revenue comes into us.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
It's eating up there almost about $254,000 in the bank account.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, move to emergency services and disaster agency, Mr. Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From December 7th, 2012 to January 3rd, 2013, we had 34 calls for service. And just a short note to make everybody aware, Close friend and comrade Roger Mufford, the Steger Director of Emergency Service, passed away on December 21st. He worked well with all our departments, and he will be missed quite a bit. That concludes my report, sir.
Thanks, sir. Move to senior committee, Ms. Leishman.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. Thanks. The month of December was a very busy time for seniors. On Sunday, December 2nd, the Leisure Timers held their annual Christmas party at Glenwood Oaks in Glenwood. Saturday, December 8th, the Sauk Village Senior Citizens, also known as Sunshiners, held their annual Christmas party with a catered dinner from Glenwood Oaks, and they were entertained by the Morgan family. On Thursday, December 13th, the senior committee members and their spouse met at my home for a Christmas get-together. On Tuesday, December 18th, the BMW Crossroad held their annual Christmas potluck dinner. And finally, on Sunday, December 23rd, Sauk Village Bluegrass held their annual Christmas holiday potluck to a standing room only crowd. The senior citizens exemption or senior freeze exemption for property tax relief are now required to be filed annually, and they are due February 6th. Just a reminder, flu season came early, so be sure you get your flu shot if you haven't. The senior committee provides many free programs to our seniors. I know a board member doesn't seem to think that we're doing anything. Blood pressure screening is co-sponsored with the plan group. Book exchange. We have computer classes. Monthly movie co-sponsored with the McConaughey Library, and lunch and refreshment provided by the library. Blood pressure screening precedes the movies. Then we have the Zumba Gold class geared for seniors. All detailed, updated flyers are posted and in place in the revolving literature rack. The next computer class is on Thursday and Friday at 1 p.m. this week. Our Monday movie at 12:30 is North to Alaska, and this is this coming Monday, January 14th, with lunch at 11:30 a.m. Since seating is limited, reservations are required. You call McConaughey Library, 708-757-4771. The next Zumba Go class is on Saturday, January 19th. The Leisure Timers will not be meeting this month. The first meeting of the year will be a potluck dinner at 1 p.m. on February 13th. And beginning February 27th, their regular meeting will be held at 2 p.m. instead of the 5 and 6 p.m. The next senior committee will be held this Thursday, January 10th at 5 p.m. Thank you. This concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Move the Human Relations Commission Beautification Committee. Ms. Campbell Pruitt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to the board. I'm going to start with the Beautification Committee first, if you don't mind. Just to let you know that the Clean, Green, and Green Week has already been scheduled, and we want everyone to put it on their docket so they can make certain that they participate. The actual week will be the last week of May, with the first Saturday being the Community Day, where we go out into the community and we meet a lot of volunteers. And we promised last year that moving forward, we would come up with specific dates for different activities to make it easier for people to remember. So moving forward from June 1st, we will be having our primary cleanup day, the first Saturday of each June. We have other activities scheduled, but as they go along, I will share that information with you. I'm not certain if it was IDOT or Cook County who cleaned a lot of debris yesterday. On, was that IDOT? Yes. On Sauk Trail. So that was really encouraging to see, because I don't know why that area there collects so much trash, but it was really good to see them out there doing it. And that's it for the Beautification Committee at this point. Moving on to the Human Relations Commission. CETA provided 10 Christmas baskets with turkeys
to the Human Relations Commission. They were picked up and delivered to the Emmanuel Christian Reformed Church, and they distributed it to our residents for us. There will be a deputy voter registrar's training January the 31st at the fire station. There are flyers out on the table out there, and anyone invited to attend. We need at least 20 people in order for that to take place. And residents of Sauk Village are definitely the primary priority. However, we are partnering with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, as we did last year. And anyone from any neighboring village or township can come to that training as well. And likewise, we will offer annual training, and that will be always the last Thursday in January of each year. I brought in a sample brick for the memorial, and a number of you had an opportunity to see it. If you did not, it is in the on the back windowsill. I'd like for you to take a look at it. I think that it turned out quite nicely. However, Public Works will be taking the brick to see if it will fit in some of the existing form that we have before moving forward. And after that logistic is taken care of, then we'll go with the order forms and everything. In terms of the Youth Council update, the youth have developed their own mission statement up to this point, and they're very, very excited about what they're doing. They're getting ready to start working with Parks and Recs to a degree to offer some programs there. They are also very interested in working with the Student Government Day. A number of them have expressed an interest in determining or to see how our village runs. So they are and have been invited to come out February the 12th to a board meeting. And so I ask that they be included on the agenda, or they'll just really come under the Human Relations Commission report. And we're really hoping that all of the residents will come out and show support for our youth group as well. We would like to make a recommendation to install 2 candidates on the commission. As reported in the past, there are 4 vacancies. 2 of them are 3-year terms, and 2 of them are 2-year unexpired terms for people who had to leave the commission early. But tonight, I would really like to make a recommendation that we seat the 2 3-year terms. The first person is one who had a 1-year term, and his term ended December 31st or January 1st, I would prefer to look at it. And he expressed an interest in continuing on the commission, and he did that by writing a letter, which everyone was asked to do that were interested. And so I'm not certain if I should take it one at a time, how you want to vote on it or what, but the second person that I would like to recommend be included or added to the commission is Linda Washington. Linda works with the Neighborhood Watch program, and she does a number of other things in the village to help out and assist whenever possible. Please know that we did a major reach out through the newspapers, through Facebook, through topics, and then also reporting here and soliciting people and actually talking to people individually, asking that they submit a letter. Up to this point, we only have 2, so that recommendation is to seek the 2 3-year terms.
For the record, the first individual, please state your name, please.
Oh, the very first individual who's, I'm sorry, is our own acting mayor, David Hanks. He was on the commission for the last year, but he had a 1-year term.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation by the Human Relations to fill these 2 positions. I would like to go ahead and move on this tonight with the first individual. Well, if the board wants to vote on it. Right. So what we'll do is we'll take them individually and see if the board would like to vote. We'll do the first one will be myself, and this is falling underneath the Human Relations Commission report. I just asked the attorney. It's a fill committee. So is there a motion to accept David Hanks to be reinstated into the Human Relations Commission?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, is there a discussion? Hearing none, Vice Clerk, please call roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. The second individual was Ms. Linda Washington. Is there a motion to accept Ms. Linda Washington as Human Relations Commissioner?
Make the motion, Ms. Washington.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Benson.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Thank you very much. The motion carries. All right, we have both of the individuals.
Fantastic. It's customary that they're sworn in.
You know,
Are you prepared to do that, or do you?
it'd be on, let's swear in the next agenda, but the board has already approved for them to move forward.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you very much. Move to Housing Authority, Mr. Holcomb.
Yes, the Housing Authority will meet Monday, the 14th at 6 p.m. here in the Village Hall. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Holcomb, do you have any experience in real estate at all? Do you have any experience in real estate? No. Okay, thank you.
All right. Move to item number 6, ordinance and resolutions. We have 6A, a motion to approve an ordinance amending the village code to define and abate nuisance rental housing unit and provide for crime-free rental housing and enforcement. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that the village accept the amendment to the village code to define the abatement of nuisance rental housing units and providing the crime-free rental housing enforcement.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Question.
Trustee.
Acting Mayor, are we going to, if this passes, are we going to send out to the I guess you would call them commercial, the homeowners, that we pass this particular amendment, because it is an amendment to an ordinance, so that they can know that that they have to, from, I guess the way I understand is that when they renew the lease on the different homes, that they have to present them with this code, and they have to go to the class in order for them to qualify. So we're going to send that information out to the homeowners.
Well, Mr. Trustee Burgess, in the statute, it states that the village must notify each and every homeowner that has rental property in town, and they will be advised in that village they send out that there is a training class that they must attend. Basically the same procedure that is followed in the other rest of the community.
And I would assume this is probably going to be a slow pace, because some of these properties, we don't even know if they're rental properties or not.
The reason why I was saying this is something brand new to the village. I can see if it was something that's been on, this is an amendment, so a lot of the homeowners that rent are not aware of this, and I hope they understand the significance of this particular amendment, that if their tenant is caught doing, could be whatever it is, selling, or even if they're stealing at a store, that they can be evicted from their house without cause. And I just wanted people to kind of understand that, and I don't know if we have many homeowners here that rent here tonight, but and I'm pretty sure a lot of them that rent their homes don't come out to the board meeting because they're not living out here anymore. But we need to let them know, because their residents or their tenants can be evicted if they break the law in the village or whatever. So I just wanted to make sure we didn't know about that. That was my question.
Mr. Mayor, I will ask the police chief, director police chief, to make sure they add a copy of the ordinance to it. On page part of 2, 3, and 4, mostly in 4, it describes each and every offense that you can seriously get in trouble with. It takes it from, gives a definition of it all the way down to what type the code it meets. And, but I will recommend the police chief to add that copy to the letter he sends out to each and every one of them. And therefore, they will have a copy of the ordinance and information and time that they need to sign up for this training.
All right. Hearing nothing else, the clerk, please call roll.
Benson. Abstain. Burgess.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item 6B, motion to approve an ordinance providing the submission to the electorate of the Village of Sauk Village to question whether the village shall have authority to arrange for supply of electricity for its residents and small commercial retail customers who have not opted out of such program. Is there a motion? We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the second. Any discussion?
Question, is this going to be on the ballot?
Yes.
Is it going to be worded just this way?
It's part of the ordinance, how it's worded. Says, shall the Village of Sauk Village have the authority to arrange for the supply of electricity for the residents and small commercial retail customers who have not opted out of such program, yes or no? That's how it's worded on the ballot.
Okay, are we going to have at least one town hall meeting to
I think there's two.
okay.
All right.
Mr. Trustee, why would we vote on this before we even have discussion on it?
This is the question to get on the ballot. Again, everything has to be done for
Why would we
the
even question that if we never had discussion on it?
There was discussion at one of the last meetings we had in December. All right. All right. Hearing no other questions, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Benson. Burgess.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. Move item 6C, motion to approve an ordinance authorizing and accepting the donation of real estate property commonly known as 2842 East 225th Place in the Village of Sauk Village, Cook and Will counties. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, before we take a motion,
We're going to take a motion in a second for any discussion.
okay.
Is there a motion? There a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion, second, now discussion.
I was going to ask to have this table until we can find out how much it's going to cost the village and what we would have to pay, because we already, right now, do we have the money to take on a project like this? Because now we'll be liable. I just wanted to know the cost aspects, how much it would cost if we were to keep it, or how much it would cost for us to demolish it and make it, just level land. Because once we take it on, if anything happens in that particular parcel, we're responsible and liable for it. So that's why I wanted to find out how much it would cost us to demolish it if we decide to demolish it, or if we're going to fix it up and sell it, whatever. But I would like to find that out before we accept this. I don't know if there's a deadline to accept this property, but I would like to at least find out what the cost is. And if it's conducive, then we go ahead and do it, but we need to take care of it right away, because I don't want that parcel, especially at this time of year, to be out there and something happens in there, then we're liable. That was the reason I asked. That's why I was asking to have a table, but you said I had to take the motion first. Okay.
Again, you want to respond to that?
Again, all I can say about this property is it's from Wells Fargo, who's a mortgage company that owns the title to the property. Apparently the parties that were in the property couldn't afford it, and it's underwater, so Wells Fargo is looking to donate it at no cost. It's been appraised at about, I think it's about $35,000. It's a residential house. I haven't been in it. I think it needs to be painted or a little upbeat, a little volunteer. As far as liability, if you have the homeowners liability insurance that would cover the village if any of that hurt on the premises, or if the structure were to be damaged. I don't know what the village plans on doing with the property, but in this day and age, if anyone's willing to donate a valuable asset to the village, I would seriously consider it. 103 as of the day of the closing. The Wells Fargo, they would like to close by February 1st, this parcel.
Oh, there is a deadline, February 1st.
Yeah, they want to set a deadline, they want to transfer the property. If it's, you know, if the village isn't willing to accept it, I think they'd probably put it out for sale then, or put it up for sale.
The reason why I was asking, because I mean, can we have someone to go in there and actually look at and see what it, you know, what it would cost to either keep it, demolish it, or whatever? I mean, because once we take it on, I mean, it's ours, and you know, we're liable for it. And I would just, you know, I know we have people that's here in the village that's qualified to look at it to determine it, put it off for the next board meeting still before February 1st. I just wanted to make sure that we're not taking on something, because we did it before we took on something, we had to demolish it because it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the village keeping. So you know, I just wanted to make sure that was my only objection, is to make sure that, you know, that I haven't I drove past it, but I haven't got a chance to look inside and see if there's anything else that's there, you know, because just wanted to make sure that was my only objection to the motion.
If you like, we can make it contingent upon an inspection by the village. If Kevin or somebody goes through and find anything that really needs to be fixed up, we can go back to them and tell them that the village isn't interested.
Those are the things they're waiting for, is for the inspection of the village for closing also. Again, the reason that there's a timetable February 1st, they're looking for everything to be passed, and they have all the proper documentation at closing. And part of the proper documentation would be, number one, this ordinance, but also the reactivity permits and things like that through, or at least the village's inspection of the property. That's one of the things that was helping across today.
Well, then can we amend the motion to say that it would be contingent upon renewal or review of the property? If that would be, I mean, I wouldn't have no problem with that type of motion.
I have no problem changing to that. My second line. I have a question though. How does this come about? Knowing the banks and real estate company and Wells Fargo as I do, I mean, they just don't give things away.
They did on this one. They reached out to me, in fact, it was shortly after being appointed to this position.
Okay.
I received a phone call and we started the conversations.
All right. So we have to reread the motion.
Motion to rescind in a second.
So, in lieu of any further questions, I was also going to ask, is there any type of agreement that came with this project? We want to just give this property away, that's fine. But you have to be paperwork, there has to be an agreement, you know, we did before February 1st, it's right around the corner. You want to close right away and then do everything after the closing, the paperwork, and have a problem with that. Is there any type of agreement that has to be written, who set in on this conversation with the property owner?
So with Wells Fargo was the one that reached out to us and sent all the information to us about the donation of the property.
Then why wasn't we given any of this information?
We have it before you. So, I mean, we haven't met for, what, 3 or 4 weeks? All right, is there a motion to approve with the amendments that trustee Burgess had put in place? Okay, motion, is there a second?
Could we have the motion read, sir?
Sure. You want to read that? I was going to be worried.
I believe it's going to be a motion to approve an ordinance authorizing the second donation of real property commonly known as 2842 East 225th Place in the village of Sauk Village, Cook County, Will County, Illinois, subject to inspection by village personnel.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Hoskin.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, could we have, as soon as the inspection, can we have a copy of that, please?
All right, move item 60, motion to approve a resolution for improvements under the Illinois Highway Code 223rd Street, Nichols to Murphy, for the amount of $10,500. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Anderson.
Abstain.
Burgess.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 60, motion to approve a resolution for improvements under the Illinois Highway Code for 223rd Street between Nichols and Murphy for the amount of $110,000. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
Abstain.
Burgess.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 6F, motion to approve a resolution of the Village of Sauk Village, Cook and Will counties regarding zoning restrictions applicable to cannabis dispensaries and related facilities.
We can't ask questions until we get a second. Motion.
I say motion, is there a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Comments and questions?
Mr. Mayor, my understanding reading this, we are actually directing the zoning and planning boards to review this and then come back to us with a area that this thing can go in and the zoning it will have. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. Directing the zoning board of appeals and commissions to evaluate the classification of the distribution facility, to establish locations, regulations of distribution facilities, and to recommend any other related regulations as may be necessary, important, or beneficial to the village and its residents.
Okay, the second question I have for you, sir, actually for the attorney. I know at 5 p.m. this afternoon, the governor has not signed this. I don't think it cleared the floor yet. However, I would like to get a copy, if the attorney can, of the proposed law that they're presenting. This is exactly see how it reads. I just can't visualize that we're going to allow somebody to pitch a crop of marijuana in the backyard and grow it. I mean, that's the part that bothers me. If it becomes legal in the state of Illinois, and for a certain medical facility or a company to do it, now fine and dandy, and it's going to be only one law in each district. Once again, the law, and I'm not sure it does say that they can go out and do 5 acres of marijuana in their backyard and then sell it. I have a problem with that. And I would like to know when the zoning board is going to present this to their committee. I'd like to be present to voice my concern about it. I know we can't stop the governor from signing any bills. He signs a lot of them. But we sure can put some restrictions on what we allow here in our town. Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, we have enough problem with drugs in this town. We just don't, I don't know, I just can't see putting it at our front door. I'd like to really go into, check into it a little farther and stuff. But once again, when the general zoning approval, the mayor signed, the governor signed the bill, then we pretty much, so not too much to say except for we'll see what the zoning board and planning come up with. Thank you.
Briefly in response, Mr. Myers, actually it doesn't allow for a marijuana farm to pop up or people to grow marijuana in their backyard. Actually, it's for a distribution center for medicinal purposes. As you know, that there's many people that suffer from cancer or other ailments, and for medicinal purposes are allowed or suggested to use marijuana to alleviate some of the discomfort or the pain that they're going through. So the law that the state's looking to pass is that there's certain distribution centers for marijuana for medicinal purposes. It's not for agriculture or to allow somebody to grow it on their property. And it's to restrict it to one area within the Senate district. So I believe that your zoning board will look at the surrounding communities, I'd have to look at your Senate district that might carry over into another community other than your community. So it's asking that if it's going to be zoned, that be zoned in a proper area, perhaps in your business district, or if it's already zoned or approved, say in a neighboring town, and maybe decide not to zone it within Sauk Village.
The reason I asked that question, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas under the proposed law, certain nonprofit medical cannabis organization acting at distributing facility will be authorized to grow, harvest, and distribute cannabis. And where that harvest is the one that I hung up on. That's probably the stuff we have tonight. So, like I said, I have no problem. Let's get it to the zoning board and planning, and let them tear it apart and come back with a recommendation to us.
The state law, the proposed law, I'll get a copy of that forward to you.
That's Bill 0030.
Trustee, the state has not come to a conclusion or decided on how they're going to direct this bill. So why would we visit this? We should not be writing or sending anything to anybody until the state has voted on the bill, passed the bill, or filled the bill, but we can decide on how to write this ordinance.
This is not an ordinance before us tonight, trustee. This is a resolution that directs the zoning board to review. It also, in section 2, says direct the zoning board of appeals, planning commission, should the proposed law or similar law be approved by the Illinois General Assembly and signed into law by the governor, the zoning board of appeals, planning commission is hereby directed to recommend zoning regulations with respect to distribution facilities and hold public hearings on same as soon as practical after the proposed law is signed by the governor. This is, again, no different if you go back probably 10 plus years when the state said that municipalities could not prohibit certain, if you want to call them, strip clubs from coming in your community. At that time, the village board directed the zoning board to pick where those type of businesses would be located within our community, what they would be zoned, and Sauk Village has zoning for that, and where those type of facilities would go within our community. So, again, we're just directing the zoning board to review this and come back with recommendations to this board. There's nothing being passed by ordinance. This is a resolution.
I would say we can try to pass anything. I would leave the business until the governor can sign it. The state has to pass it. It's not to be certain no purpose right now.
So
until the state decides on what they want to do with that bill, 0030, then we should go ahead and if they decide to pass it, then I can see the position of the village to send this to the zoning board.
So you'd rather wait till after something's done before you act on something?
Exactly.
So you want to react?
We have a better idea of understanding on how to act on it.
So you'd rather react instead of respond? I understand. Trustee Burgess?
Mr. Mayor, so I can be very clear. This is my personal stance. I, for one, am not going to vote, accept anything that would bring illegal substance as far as cannabis, marijuana, or whatever into this village. I don't care if it's municipal. I don't care if it's medical. Let someone else take care of that. I mean, I'm not going to open the door, and I'll stand on that. I mean, I don't want, we don't have, our police department has enough to do. And to legally bring in marijuana, I'm going to fight that to the day I die, because unless they make marijuana legal, then fine. If it's legal, then it's legal. But right now, I'm treating it as a banned substance. I don't care I'm sorry if it's glaucoma. I'm sorry if anyone has glaucoma and has to use it. It's just like a prescription or whatever, but I don't want it in the village at all. We're trying to stop that right now. And for right now, for me to sit here and vote on it, to even look and even think about trying to bring it in, even if the state says we have to, I'll fight them for this village. We don't need that. We don't, at this particular point in time, we don't need it. Even if we put it out there in an area that's swamped, I still feel that they'll find a way to do it. Once we let it get in a little bit, it'll come in all the way. So right now, myself, I'm against even thinking, talking about it, or whatever, about bringing cannabis out here for whatever purpose it may be. And that's just my statement, and that's just my stance on it.
I agree 100% with you, trustee. However, if this passes, the village does not have the right to prohibit this from coming in our community. That's why it's important, and it's written in the law, and that's why it's important that this will go before the zoning board, just as we wouldn't want a gentleman's club or a strip club in our community. That's why it went before the zoning board so many years ago to say, if you want to bring something like that into our community, here's where it will go, and this is how it's zoned. So you're talking about fighting the state. Again, it hasn't passed yet. However, we should move forward on the zoning board and direct them to tell us or make recommendations on where something like this should go, what it should be zoned, and as we prepare in case it does pass.
Okay, I mean, it could be just like the saggy pants ordinance. I mean, everyone said that if we tried to do that, that was illegal. I mean, you know, it falls under that same umbrella. I just don't. I don't even want anyone to even think that we can have a clinic out here or a medical distribution center for cannabis. I'm sorry. I can't go along with that. And that's just, like I said, I stated before, this is my opinion. I can't go along with it. The board can vote, but I will be voting no for any, even if we just have a study, I'm just voting no on cannabis, period, in Sauk Village. That's all.
All right, trustee Lynch?
I think we have a motion and a second on the floor, and I think that we should take a vote, and if it passes, we continue. If it fails, we don't. But I do like the point that you made, Marinx, is, you know, the difference between action and reaction, because we can clearly see that this conversation up here is a hot button topic. We all have our own ideas behind the situation, but, you know, if this were to pass, if it did pass today, we would be then again reacting to the situation. If the law was signed in today, they would be able to come in and say, we're going to come to Sauk Village. We would have nothing in place. We would have no zoning in place. And I know that some of the people who've been on the board for a while, we know that we've had other establishments approach us with other business opportunities, and you know, we haven't been able to turn it down. You know, we didn't necessarily like the cash for gold idea. We've been approached by strip clubs to come to Sauk Village, casinos, other things that we may not think are in the best interest of our town. And regardless of how we personally felt about them, we knew that we could not restrict them. And this is going to be one of those cases again, that if it does pass, that we're not going to be able to say no. If they come in here, we're going to have to, it's better for us to know, say that you can come in here, but you're going to be way far back here in the industrial area where we put everything else. That might be something that we want to start working on. But regardless of how we feel about the situation, there's a motion and a second on the floor. I think we just need to vote. And I would just suggest that if it does fail, which may look like the way it's going to go, that when we do have the final decision, that we need to bring this back, and I'm sure it will be brought back to the board for a revote, so we can decide how we're going to do on this, how we're going to go forward on this. And I just wanted to point out that this specific cannabis is not illegal. It was brought up an illegal substance. Because it's medicinal, it's not illegal, or else the governor wouldn't be signing a bill on it. So I just want to make sure that we all understand what this purpose is for. It's not, you know, Jim Bob and Brian in the backyard with a couple pots. You know, that's not what this is. This is an actual facility. And I think that, unfortunately, we're going to drag our feet, but we can't stop changing it. This is the change that the state of Illinois wants to go in, then as a part of the state of Illinois, we're going to have to follow suit.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask the exact wording of the motion? Is it to allow the zoning board and planning commission to review this and set up a zoning regulation? Am I correct on that?
Part of the resolution is involved in that. However, they're going to be making recommendations and coming back before the village board on, make sure I get this all correct, about establishing locations, regulations, of distribution facilities, to recommend any other regulations that may be necessary, important, or beneficial to the village residents, or to the village and its residents. That's why we're asking for it to go to the zoning board, so they can come back for us board and make recommendations.
So basically, the motion is to get it to the zoning board.
That's correct.
All right.
All right. Hearing nothing else, village clerk, we have a motion second on the floor. Village clerk, please call roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
No.
Hayes.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Hoskins.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right. Move to item 7. Almost lost my spot here. Okay, item number 7A, I have to ask, this was never changed, right? The date, there's a typo. Okay, so there's a typo, so I'm asking for this motion to be amended as the following. I need a motion to approve the accounts payable and distributions for December 10th, 2012 through January 8th, 2013. Is there a motion on the floor, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any second? Any discussion?
Yes.
Proceed.
Mr. Mohan, okay. I understand that we've already paid $250,000, correct?
That's right.
So now we're looking to pay another $250,000, correct?
Mhm.
And we have 275,012.
That's right.
So paying this, we'll have 25,000 left in the general fund. Well, in between the two funds, if we pay this bill.
Actually, we are paying about, $207,452.66 is coming from TIP 1.
You said 200?
Out of 521,229.38. 207,000 is coming from TIP 1 because we are going to close the TIP 1.
We're getting that?
No, we have the money in TIP 1 bank account.
Okay.
We are going to pay to the Cook County.
Okay.
So due to closure of TIP 1 fund, we are going to pay it back to Cook County. We have enough money
to pay
to cover
okay.
2021 funds.
But then, what is it that we have to transfer money? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
Not for this accounts payable.
Oh, not for this one?
Yeah, not for this one. We have to cover payroll which is coming on this Friday.
Okay.
This is through January 8th.
Okay.
Okay.
So okay, how much is that?
It's almost about we have total payroll liability in the amount of $135,000. So we are short about $100,000.
Mohan, you said 135 is remaining in the general fund?
Mm-hmm.
No, you said that's what the payroll is.
The payroll is not part of this account.
Right, I know that. Right, this is not right. This disbursement here is basically we didn't have meetings. That's where we have money for this.
We have enough money
for this.
all this.
What you're talking about is the payroll that's due Friday.
On Friday.
And as of right now, you want to get a consensus that in order for us to meet the payroll requirements, we have to pull money from another account.
Pull money from South Tower to the general fund.
Cell tower. Okay. Pull money from another account to meet payroll, and you want the okay to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because there is no choice otherwise.
Okay, well then I'm getting ahead of myself. Then right now, then we can vote to accept this and pay this right now because we do have money to pay?
We have enough money to pay.
Okay, but then that's what we can take care of right now. And then after that, then acting mayor, can we go and discuss the payroll? Because we have to discuss the payroll.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, because this is to January 8th, so this is already there. This been taken care of. We have money to cover this, but what he's asking now is can he get a consensus of the board to move money from one entity to pay it there?
This is motion on this.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. We take. I thought it was part of this.
No.
So we have the money for this.
We have 100% money covered for this constable and payroll.
I do have a question, Mr. Mayor, on the accounts payable. We have an invoice that was way back in February.
I'm sorry.
We had an invoice on page 2 that was brought to our attention. Now, this is an invoice that's dated February of 2012.
Yes, because the former chief of police, I guess, held on to the invoice.
Yeah, held on to the invoice?
There was a lot of invoices.
There were tons of invoices that were not given to the accounts payable.
I think it's important is we found a lot of invoices that were solved by the former chief of police, and even under the former village manager and former mayor, we found boxes probably, or a box, at least a box of mail that was not even opened with invoices.
There were unprocessed bills that were sitting out there, so we were able to get all those invoices and feed them into accounts payable system.
And then the reason why I'm asking this question, between now and then, we never got a late notice?
Because the vendors are nice, at least. They don't want, they don't want any late fee or something. So we are good with them.
Also, they never said that. In other words, when you found this the first time you knew that this was there, we didn't get a late fee, a late notice, or anything?
No, man, I never got anything.
Okay.
Mr. Mohan, page 5, you have a column where there's a lot of things in it. Baxter and Woodland. This is a disbursement that we voting on. That means that you paying Baxter and Woodland for work done in TIP 3, correct?
That's right.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you also paying Kane and McKenna for economic development. What type of economic development are you paying them for?
That's right.
Professional service. What did they do to be paying them this money for economic development?
Because they have analyzed most of the TIF 3 and 4 information.
And the village is paying it.
Pardon?
And the village is paying it.
Definitely, yes, we have to pay for them.
Okay.
The services obtained by them, we have to pay for them.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
I just want to clarify that. That's money for TIF 3, which is over there where WinPAC is at, and I think we're going to be paying some more because we still have some other issues with the easement, and we have to pay them for that. Baxter and Woodman takes care of the money aspect. I'm sorry, Baxter. Kane McKenna takes care of the money aspect. Baxter and Woodman is the engineering firm TIF that been working. And in regards to that, that's all in regards to WinPAC. So that money, so I can clarify, comes from the TIF. It's not money that's paid. We're the TIF trustees, the village is. So the money is not paid out of our coffers. It comes out of the TIF coffers.
It does.
So the village is not actually paying for it. The taxpayers in Sauk is not paying for it.
No.
The TIF.
It is paid by TIF.
All right. Motion second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Bill Sharp, please call roll.
Benson? Burgess?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Oscar?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Motion carries. Go to item 7B, opening of the bids for board of service.
Mr. Mayor, did he give his answer as far as if he able to move the money? He was.
He has consensus, right? Yeah.
Who?
Right. I know. So,
email? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't email you.
You received, Mr. Mohan, you started an email requesting answers to an earlier question that you posed to the trustees. I don't know how that came out, but that should come up, that should be a vote that the board must take actually now, so the public did what they did, and we didn't do that.
Normally, before the payroll is processed, when the council is in session, beforehand, we will take the approval from the Board of Trustees on the live council meeting. If there is no council meeting is scheduled well before the payroll, normally I will send a request via email to have it approved, the transfer that needs to be taken care of.
All right, we've already moved on to open your bid service. Trustee, you're not on board. We've already moved. Trustee, it's not on the agenda, we already moved on. Okay, we're very moved to the opening of the bid.
What you mentioned, and it is, since you mentioned it, and it is a public, it should be public knowledge, I can ask this man this question.
You can ask him as much as you want to.
I want to ask him right now, because he has a question over the email, and we have approved it, the public should know that what exactly that was approved.
Trustee, we've already moved on. We're opening the bid. We have opening the bid from, looks like, A&D Property Services at 7346 South Exchange Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60649. Sorry about that. A&D Property Services.
Question. Sherry, aren't you waiting for other bids to come in? The other bids supposed to be coming in?
Deadline is Monday at 5.
Yes. And how many bids what were you expecting before that deadline? Oh, they come in.
Yeah, I didn't know. No one should be.
So on 2 tables.
I think that was said earlier, being, so
You should have 3 bids, not 2. You should continue to go out and get for another bid.
Looks like they broke it down by opening, huh? They've got proof of insurance, and then they have a packet of what they do.
I don't know how the other bids put together. This bid from this company was basically to secure a half-inch polycarbonate fiberglass per opening door window up to 32 square feet. First opening is $350. Each additional opening is $250. That is if, under, I would say, typical normal circumstances. If you're called out or they're to be called out in an emergency secure situation, the price differs. The first opening is $395, and each additional opening is $295. They also include, with this bid, if it's a half-inch plywood per opening for a window or door up to 32 square feet. First opening is $225, and each additional opening is $95. And again, if it's an emergency situation, first opening is $275. Each additional opening is $75. Emergency at $275 and then $75. Just using plywood.
They provided two, one with fiberglass and then the plywood. Alrighty. Yeah, this one reads. This one is from Rich Construction. provided they have a village license, they provided proof of insurance. It looks like everything's in front. So the first one is emergency board up. Looks like it's a $165 service charge on all calls. If there's 3 or more, we'll be charged for one service. Opening, standard size windows, standard size doors are $49 an opening. It's pretty low detail. 2-door openings, 2 sheets of plywood, same price. Any window over 48 inches would be considered 2 openings or 2 sheets of plywood. Painted plywood would be at $20 additional per opening. Any job that requires 4 openings or more would have an additional charge of $45 per hour per additional man. Board up pricing, which construction, standard price sheet, and give a 35% discount on the total board up, excluding painted plywood. And then they have a regular form, it looks like they fill out when they came out. And then when you're going down, they have a 4x8 sheet of plywood, $49 per window opening, $49. Wire mesh 4x4 is $49. Painted plywood is $20. 2x4x8 is $19. 2x2x8 is $12. Winterization is $200. Tarps 6x8 is $95. 8x10 is $115. These are tarp sizes, I'm sorry. 10x12 is $145. 10x20 is $180. 12x12 is $195. 12x16 is $220. There's roof openings at $60. Second story work flat rate is $100. If they have to use tar per gallon, it's $60. Lock and hasp are $70. Additional man hours are $45. Electric temps per 50 foot is $200. Water removal per hour is $150. They have a service charge for 1 man, 1 truck only is $165, which we already mentioned at the beginning. So what we'll do is we'll turn this over to Sherry, and she can review.
Actually, Mayor, I think it's best if those clerk keeps custody control of the bids. She make copies and give it to Sherry, maybe instructor to review it. I suggest that they report back to the board. There's a cost estimate based on those proposals.
So it's based on these proposals. Let's have come back for the village board next Tuesday night. Let's review them and approach, come back with a recommendation.
Can the board receive a copy of those bids, the study, and I'd like to ask Madam Clerk, how long and when were they publicized and where?
Sure, just
Sure.
It was at least the 10 or 15 day period.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks prior to the last day to turn them in. I checked with the village attorney, and Matt Burns said that would be fine, so it was placed in the South Town. And then the deadline was for yesterday at 5 o'clock.
Is on in the South Town?
Yeah, because every time we post something in the paper, it costs the village money.
So you fix it only in the South Town?
I sent it to the South Town for posting in the paper, and they were able to get it in the time frame that we needed. I don't know if it was put on the website.
So it's only on the, okay, thank you. Thank you, Jerry.
I do have a question. Have we settled our bill with Rich? I mean, as far as them prior to that, everything is taken care of with Rich Construction? He's not sharing? So we still either owe them or they claim a discrepancy in their bill?
Yeah, there is a discrepancy. Me and the village manager back, when she was here, met with Rich, and he tried to say that we owed him $15,000, which he cannot prove to me. And I think we come up with $3,000. And his offer at that time was, if we don't go out to bid and just continue to use him, he would drop all charges and we could just start fresh. We never did anything with it. So, he's been real good about coming out for board ups for us. It's just the billing.
Okay, that's what I was gonna, the reason I was gonna say, we're gonna go back in bed with someone that prior to this, we had a discrepancy, but you did say that if, he told us if we were to recontract him out, he would forgive the outstanding balance.
Yeah, that can, I mean, I can check.
Right.
I would
I
like,
mean,
if we do go backwards, I would like to start fresh.
I was gonna
And see if he would offer us to stay on.
because the two bids, that there's a.
That was my goal, if he was well.
Right. I mean, well, you can look at that.
He would come in, he gives us 35% off of that total bill anyways. I mean, off the total bill, so he always is giving us that.
I'm just saying, if we go back, I mean, we will be very careful to scrutinize each and every bill now that if he happens to be the one that's,
If we do go back with them, I think that what I need to do is every time he does a board up and we pay, I put the invoice with the board up and keep it on file, so we can backtrack a lot faster, and then we have all the information right there. You know, I don't know. I think the main thing is we made them go to invoice numbers because they weren't doing that, and it was near impossible to keep track of. And so I think that's where he's got a misconception. I don't believe I spent hours going through every bill that was paid for him on an Excel spreadsheet, and we do not owe him near as amount.
right.
We paid him for a lot of those he thinks we owe him.
Right.
I would think if we were gonna, my recommendation is if we were gonna go with Rich as a low bidder, I think that I need to hold a meeting with him and see if that offer that he proposed to the village, or me and Mrs. Turner at that time will still be in place. And then definitely, I think if we can start from scratch, and we could move forward.
Thank you.
Trustee Burgess, moving forward, we can do a query program in Excel spreadsheet. Whenever we key in the property number, if there's any duplicate property number, it will automatically flag it. There we can trace whether we had paid them already or he is the overbilling or something like that. We can make sure that we don't overpay him.
Because it looks as if the way it was read, it looks as if they may be the lowest one now. It's up to, quite naturally, be up to the powers to be who would be more qualified, because it's not just the lowest bid, but the most qualified lowest bid. So
I mean, for all the years that I've been here, he has done the board ups, and he does a good job, and he is very efficient on getting somebody out here. It's just different fees, like if he's called in the middle of the night, if a board up can wait till 7 in the morning, naturally it's cheaper. You know, that kind of stuff. I mean, they do good work. It's not the work quality at all. It's just a little bit of a problem with the invoicing system, and that would have to be worked out.
as far as calling up, that would go on to whoever calls up, like you just got to stating.
Well, you know, there's some things that need to be in
I
place,
think a lot of
especially.
discussion about it next Tuesday night.
Yeah,
I don't think we need discussion.
yeah, it's going to be on the committee.
Okay.
So let's move forward. Item 7C, motion to authorize the village attorney to settle the 2005-2006 tax rate eviction case at a rate of .007. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item 7D, motion to approve Miller Cooper Company Ltd. auditors for the fiscal year 2010-2011 audit. Is there a motion to approve? Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item 8A, go through the approval of the minutes, October 9th, 2012, board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 8B, October 16th, 2012, committee meetings. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. 8C, October 23rd, 2012, board meeting. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Sexton. Burgess.
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. 8D, November 6th, 2012, committee meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. 8E, November 13th, 2012, board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Yeah, motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. 8F, November 27th, 2012, board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. 8G, November 27th, 2012, special board meeting, CDBG. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson. Burgess.
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item number 9, release of executive session minutes. I'm asking for this to be tabled. Is there a motion to table? All in.
So moved.
Motion. Second, any discussion? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Benson.
No.
Burgess.
Yes, table.
Case.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 10, miscellaneous business and comments from the trustees. I'm going to start with Trustee Williams. Nothing? Trustee Myers?
Nothing.
Trustee Benson? Trustee Dawson? Trustee Burgess?
I just wanted to tell everybody a chance to Happy New Year, and that was about it.
Thank you very much. Move to item number 11, motion to recess into executive session for discussion of personnel matters and update of pending litigation, collective bargaining matters, real estate, employment, compensation, if needed. Is there a motion? We had to have executive session thing.
So moved.
Second.
Got motion and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in executive session. We're coming out with no action to be taken.